All right, welcome back to the second episode of this little slideshow podcast that I'm doing. Um, for today's topic, why you should enjoy being alone more. This is something that I personally have kind of struggled with a lot in my adult life, especially because when I was young or younger, I got an apartment pretty early. However, when I moved into that apartment, I had someone kind of move in with me. It was my girlfriend at the time, and so I never really got used to being alone, and then also never really got used to being able to enjoy it. I always felt uncomfortable, always felt just kind of down or lonely. And so, kind of today, just going over a few reasons why it is an enjoyable thing and kind of how I have learned um, to enjoy it and just appreciate it a little bit more. Starting out, if you are in a relationship or want to be in a relationship, you got to learn how to be alone and be okay with that. You need to be someone who is busy and productive on their own. If not, it can lead to a lot of codependency and a lot of unhealthy attachment styles. This is something that I found. Um, I mean, even still, it's something that I can struggle with. Um, and definitely in previous relationships, it was a lot worse where if you're constantly needing to see that person or needing them around or needing to hear from them, it's not good for either of y'all. It's not healthy, and it's honestly like just unattractive as well. Um, you know, if you want someone who is, I guess, high value, if you want a an intelligent person, if you want someone who's also productive in their own life, well, they're not going to always be able to just be next to you at a whim or be able to hang out with you or be able to see you. And so if you want someone who is, kind of high status or at least, doing something with their own life, then, they got things going on as well. So learning how to be alone is very important. And then the last point, it keeps you from getting attached to the wrong person as well. Because obviously, if you hate to be alone and you just need someone to fill that time, you kind of just pick whoever's going to do it. And that can lead you to getting into the wrong relationship with the wrong person and staying in it for way, way too long. Um, there will be times when you don't have much alone time. This is kind of something that I also kind of forgot how much like I like just sleeping alone, like having my own bed to myself. Um, like when I was living with my girlfriend, of course, like it's nice, wake up someone, fall asleep next to someone, but they're kind of on your side of the bed, they're taking up, you can't really roll around, stuff like that. So it's different just in that sense. And then also having your own space where you can organize it the way you like, you can um, have all the things that you like, your food, everything is just to your liking. Of course, you should still be organized with that and still have, a space that is safe and is comfortable and does kind of have good energy. Um, and that's kind of what you get to be able to curate when you're on your own. So taking advantage of just that alone time when you do have it and you're not maybe in a relationship or with roommates is super important, and it's a lot more valuable than it might feel in the moment. Definitely with that alone time, using it to help discover who you are, what you like doing. It can be hard to fill the time, and I think nowadays, especially with social media, with YouTube, with all these streaming services, it can be very hard to feel okay with being bored or saying like, man, I don't really have much to do. And then also, reminding yourself that it's okay to not have much to do. Like you've done the work that you're supposed to do today. Now, if you're putting something off, that's a different story. But for example, like today, I finished around like most of my work by 1 o'clock. I had my clients, went to school, and worked out with some of my classmates, and it was really fun. It was a good productive day. And then after that, I was like, oh, well, what do I do now? So I played some games, and and I did a really good job at not making myself feel bad about doing that. There's literally like, I mean, it's the weekend, it's Friday when I'm recording this and uploading this, hopefully, and so just enjoy the time that you've earned. Um, Also, kind of more back into this slide, you get a deeper understanding of yourself, as long as you're kind of looking in a third person and really reflecting on what it is you're doing, how you're acting, kind of like in my last video, what are the patterns that you're getting into in your life? Because we like to think that we know ourselves really well, but I mean, how many times have we asked ourselves or wondered, like, why did I do that? Or, man, that was really out of character. Or, man, I wish I didn't act like that. And I know for me, that's happened a lot. And then you kind of have to reflect. It's like, well, and am I a bad person? Are there sort of different attachments that are associated with this? Why is it I do this? I don't want to do this. And kind of digging into that and being able to talk through and think through that is very, very important. I know, like, I like to go on walks a lot of the times, and normally I'll listen to podcasts, so my mind still isn't really quiet. And so that's definitely something that I feel like I can improve on a little bit more. It's just allowing like actual, just like quiet time in my head. And it can allow you to be creative. Kind of what I'm doing with this. It's not so much for a result, which is something I'm kind of happy with. Not to mention I have the equipment that allows me to kind of do this, and I want to use that. Um, but it allows me to create something. And I think creation is important for all humans, whether, it's music. I'm not musically talented or artistically talented at all, but if you can do that, that's amazing. Reading obviously is really great, or content creation. Just, you know, I think you got to have something outside of just your work. And of course, time is a constriction and a restriction. As far as, you wake up, you try to eat as best you can, you have work, then maybe you have time for gym or something like that. I understand that it is a lot, but having a way where you can express yourself, or at least just put something out there into the world, is what I think that we were kind of put on this earth to do. As far as every human, I think creating art or music, or just something to be appreciated by others, or at least viewed by others in like a kind way, or in a way to um, almost give up something for others, is kind of noble. And I think that's something that we should all kind of strive to do. And I think we'll all be a little better off for it. Um, a lot of your time will be spent alone. The majority of your life, even if you are with someone, it's still spent alone. And if you can't figure out what to do in that free time, I know I've struggled with this a lot. You'll fill it with the wrong things. Whether, at least for men, like the number one addiction in America is pornography. Um, like mindless swiping, like on TikTok, dating apps, Instagram, whatever it is. Um, and I mean, just any kind of, I mean, it's mostly the phones and the social media, or hanging out with the wrong people, um, drinking, whatever, excessively spending too much money when you shouldn't be spending money, on board. Let me go to the mall, or let me shop, let me go out and eat, etc. And so you can see how that can quickly turn into a negative cycle if you never kind of learn, okay, how can I exist in this world without looking at things that I shouldn't be looking at, and then not only things that I shouldn't be looking at, but that make me feel bad and make me feel worse about myself, make me feel like I'm not doing enough, make me feel, lesser than. That's just a recipe for disaster, and just a big reminder that this is not something that you just figure out or grow out of. You're not going to, I mean, how many adults do you see who are like even still getting into like TikTok, or have, how many stories about even celebrities do you hear getting into like financial trouble, or they're cheating on their spouses or whatever. It's the same kind of thing. It's not something you just grow out of unless you work at it. Um, so yeah, that's really all I got for this video today. A little bit shorter. We'll see, what ideas keep coming to me. But I'm glad I was able to kind of make this, and it is something that um, is still foreign to me a little bit. It's not something I'm completely comfortable with as far as being alone, but I feel myself starting to get closer to it, and I'm really really happy about that. So yeah.